Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Avi. Today, I will be playing your local real kind thief boy, who's not a thief right now, Arata Satomi. And with me today is my wonderful dear friend, who I adore so very much, who did the wonderful art for this title card. Please introduce yourself.
Hi. Hi. I'm Whirlwind Gale, otherwise known as Gale or Whirl. Depends who you ask. I'm fine with either. I am also here. I'm slightly flustered because I always get startled when people are nice to me at the starts of these. Uh, and I'm going to be playing Yu Audien's, local funny secretary man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You. It points at you.
Yes.
I love making jokes like that. Anyway,
He's great. I love him. I love his name.
um,
It's so dumb.
it's a great name.
I'm so happy that someone finally realized the joke with his initials as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, you live in Villestown, right? Um,
He does.
I yes, perfect, wonderful. Um, so here's the fun, funky thing. Um, your home, it's like an apartment, right? Or like a townhouse?
Yeah, he lives in a little apartment.
Okay. Um, it's a wonderful day in Villestown. You're vibing, you're chilling. Um, there is a knock on the door.
Oh, visitors apparently. You will kind of pause, look up from whatever he was doing, safe to assume probably research, set his notes aside, tuck the pencil behind his ear, and get up to answer the door, I guess.
Yeah, you get up and answer the door, and lo and behold, it is a real kind. You recognize this real kind. He's got a cat with him.
And you kind of smiles and waves and says, "Hey, Arata. I did we have something planned today?"
Oh, no, I just kind of wanted to drop by. Are you busy?
No busier than I ever am. Do you want to come
Alright,
inside?
cool. Yeah, sure. And he's going to step in, does the Yiddish thing of taking off the shoes at the door. um, he's a polite boy. He's not gonna climb in through the window, please. They don't know each other that well yet. Please.
Please, as of right now, their relationship primarily consists of sending recipes to each other. They don't know each other well enough to be climbing through windows yet.
Yet.
Keyword yet, but.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll ask later. Anyway.
Would Arata like to roll Percepi?
Yes, he would. That's an 18 on the dice. Okay. That bodes well for how this is gonna go.
Uh, is that just a straight 18 no modifiers, or?
Oh no, I put it in chat.
Yeah.
18 plus 6.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Gotta find my thingy what's it that I made. Where is it? There it is. I have a mock-up of Yu's apartment that I made in The Sims because I'm normal. I'm so normal. And I love showing it whenever I can.
I know this and I love you. Yeah! Ooh, it's cozy!
Yes, it is very cozy. Arata, you kind of come in through the door next to the kitchen. Um, and the space around you is slightly industrial, but very, very cozy looking. Like, there are, it's red bricks and pipes sticking out of the walls, but at the same time, it's very warm and comfy in here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's small and cluttered in the way that a space that is very well lived in becomes small and cluttered.
Oh yeah, I think he even says, "Oh, it's cozy in here."
Thanks. Yeah, I like it here. Can I. Do you drink
Oh,
tea?
I'm um kind of pauses because he was about to say something else, but he kind of just goes, "I'm more of a coffee guy, but I can drink tea."
Sorry, I'd offer you coffee, but I'm allergic. I don't keep it in the house.
That's fair.
And you will just go over to a collection of like small wooden drawers that he has stacked up on top of the counter and start putting something together and just. So, what brings you over?
Well, and he's actually going to shuffle the bag a little bit. Jeannie is still in there, and you hear Jeannie kind of just meow as
I think you will
Arata
actually pause and greet Jeannie as well. Just, oh, hi, Jeannie.
meow does a little cat squint and hello.
Very important to greet everybody who comes through your door.
Yeah, I think like as he's reaching into his bag, Arata's just like, "Do you mind if he wanders around?" Or
I'm fine with it.
okay,
Dyer is, I think, outside right now. She wanted some fresh air, so she's. He gestures to the open window. Just
oh, that's fair.
she
uh,
went out on one of her little wanders. She should be back sometime later.
yeah, and Arata just nods and she's just like, "Yeah, Jeannie does that too sometimes." But I got you this, and he pulls out a container of food. Um, it's I just had ramen yesterday, so it's like homemade ramen.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's got the little onsen eggs too. Um, and it's like a bowl of it, and he's like a container full of it, and he hands it over to you, and he's like, wanted to share some of this, so
Oh,
um,
that's so nice of you. Thank you.
yeah.
Guess that's dinner taken care of for this evening.
I also hope it's okay if I kind of spring this on you. I just wanted to ask a couple of things.
Oh, uh, sure, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
you kind of pauses in where he was, separating things out of the different spice drawers, and I'm gonna. Is it okay if I roll insight?
Yeah.
Okay, because you've got a plus 10 to that, I think. If I could just open his sheet. DMV, please.
DMV.
DMV is having a real one. Okay, so on the dice, that's a 17 already, and then I just need to add the modifier. 17 plus. Please load. Thank you. 17 plus 10. So that's 27
27. Okay.
on insight.
Yeah.
It is sort of
Uh
a, oh god, am I in trouble?
okay, you definitely get the sense that it is a no, you are not in trouble kind of thing. Arata just seems kind of He's got his thoughts wandering, and how should I put it? How should I put it? He wants to get more information so he can like figure out what exactly is going on.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Not in trouble in the slightest.
Well, that's a relief at least.
Yeah.
And you will nod and sort of gesture towards the couch and says, "Go ahead and take a seat. I'll be right over."
Okay. And Arata will take a seat. Jeannie kind of hops out of the bag and like trots around, sniffing.
Rolling off of your earlier 24, I will note there are a lot of notes and papers and books and such around here.
Ooh, fun.
Mostly on magical research, which is fun.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Yu's gonna take a minute. Obviously, he makes the tea blend, which, for my knowledge, because I like to share things, is a blend of like mocha nut mate and a cream and hazelnut flavored tea, with a little bit of gunpowder tea, a couple red peppercorns, and some cloves.
Ooh. And he's making this like all from like scratch.
Yep. He just has a
In-
bunch of drawers and jars full of spices.
Ooh, that is fun.
As he
Arata,
opens some of them up, it makes the house smell really nice.
yeah. I think I like Arata kind of leans over from where he's sitting and he's just, you make your own tea?
Yeah, I put blends together for myself and for my friends and whatnot.
Oh, that's real cool.
Yeah.
I kind of know how to prepare tea. I just don't know how to. I'm not really in the blend making,
That's
which
fair.
is very funny for a barista. I know. I know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, most baristas don't make their own tea in house.
Yeah. I
Usually
mean,
it's stuff that gets bought. It's usually the farmer's job to put together the actual blends.
oh,
Mm.
I mean, he kind of purses his lips together. Um, Boss has started to put tea on the menu back home, so I might talk to him about tea blends. Anyway.
It's definitely a fun sort of topic of study, I guess. There's a bunch of different things that you can accomplish with tea that you can't accomplish with other drinks. It's the only drink I know of that can both wake you up and put you to sleep.
And Arata nods. I think I've just gotten an immunity to the wake up call coffee gives you because I again am more of a coffee. There are dogs barking outside the window. The fuck is going on out there? Okay, they stopped. Never mind.
If it helps, I can't hear them.
Okay, that's good. Um, um, like I said, I drink more coffee than anything else, so I've built up an immunity to it.
Yeah, that's fair. That seems to be a popular take.
I mean, when you live in a cafe for a couple of years, it kind of shrugs.
Sounds like a fun place to live.
Yeah. Uh, I keep it quiet when the customers are in, or I help out, stuff like that.
You nods. Mm, I think that's probably enough time that like the tea is finished brewing. Because fun thing about the kind of tea that this is, as long as you have the water like really, really hot, it doesn't take long to get the right amount of strength.
Ooh.
It only takes about 3 minutes. So you will like pour the hot water over the tea and hand a cup to Arata, and then go and sit down on the bed across from him and just crisscross applesauce, cup of tea in hand, just so, how can I help you?
Uh, I think Arad's just going to like take a sip first. Uh, Before he kind of pauses and he says, "Okay, give me a second to figure out how to word this."
The taste of the tea is slightly similar to coffee, but it has a lot more smokiness to it and a bit of spice.
Sorry, I love the fact that you have to like say that it's similar to coffee, because like canonically, he does smell like coffee.
And he mentioned that he likes coffee more than tea, so you was just like, ah, I have something like that.
It works. He likes it. He does seem to enjoy it.
It also has a little bit of a chocolate taste to it, which is fun.
Ooh, that's sweet. Um, but Arata pauses and he kind of like holds on to the cup with both hands. Before he's just so that um you mentioned it in chat, the ink blot thing.
Ah, that. Yeah, Overblot.
What exactly is that?
Um, Complicated for starters. He kind of scratches at the back of his neck and sets his own cup of tea down on the nightstand. It's something that's not supposed to be here, but followed me from the place that I was before to this place, um, and is now a problem.
Right. Yeah, but like it's how do I put this? It's what does it do?
Uh,
Because it's affecting people?
yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, no, you're fine. Like I said, I just kind of
It sucks being out of the loop.
well that, but also I he looks very very sheepish for a second because he realizes that he kind of trapped himself in this situation. Um, before he kind of settles on, okay, I can't go into full detail about my experiences. Sworn to secrecy and all that. Um, but it's kind of similar to something that I need to be careful with.
Ah, well, then it would probably be best to make sure you're informed to keep you from being at risk.
Yeah.
And you kind of straightens up a little bit, puts his hands in his lap, and goes into a bit of exposition mode. Overblot is a magical parasite, essentially. It feeds on those who are experiencing situations of emotional turmoil or distress, using that distressed mindset to, he kind of waves a hand, loosen a person's mental and physical walls, and get at their energy, whether that be magical energy or physical energy. It does prefer magic, but it can go for physical where necessary. It seems to be spread through contact, hence he raises his hands and he's got gloves on. And once someone is infected, the parasite will continue to grow and develop until eventually the person hits a stress breaking point and big scary monster transformation and ensuing fight shenanigans. Which then lead to weird dreamscape mind shenanigans to fix the problem that the overblot was feeding on, or not really fix, but at the very least separate it from the overblot so it can stop feeding on it and kill the damn thing. It's complicated, like I said.
I mean, it definitely sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of pauses, like he's kind of thoughtful for a second. What languages does you know?
Let me check. Languages, proficiencies, languages. Common, Grolix, and Infernal.
Oh, that's fun. In that case, you kind of see him like bring the teacup back to his lips as he like takes another sip from it. And as he brings it back down, you see him kind of like muttering something to himself. You don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm pretty sure if it was loud enough for you to hear, you probably would not understand it.
Probably not.
But he does, yeah. He does look back up again, and he says, "You said that it came from where you came from."
Not where I came from where I was.
From where you were. Right. Okay. Did he ever explain that to Arata that he got isekai twice?
I don't think he ever did. I think they like just met in a library and that whole topic of conversation just hasn't come up.
That's fair. That's so funny. I love that. But, like he kind of nods slowly and he says, is that still the material plane?
As far as I know, the mirror was a place you could be, but it didn't feel any different from here. It was just. He kind of sighs and waves a hand. It was weird. According to the research I've done, it may have been some kind of form of Feywild, but I'm still not certain.
Okay, so similar, but okay.
You know, it's primarily inhabited by fairies and people with intense magic.
Okay. Definitely not what I was thinking of then. Okay.
But, like, it still has people in it.
He nods. He nods at that. And he kind of as he thinks for a second before he just nods again and he's like, okay, so good news. I don't think it's what I was thinking it was.
Um, that, yay. I'm glad. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
A plus.
thumbs up. He gives you a thumbs up.
You gives a thumbs up back.
um, but he kind of points back at you towards your gloves specifically, and he's like, "Shouldn't you get that checked then?"
Trust me, I have. He kind of sighs and fidgets with the, like, wrist part of the glove and just tugs it down a little more. It's not something there's, you know, a fix for. The only way to fix overblot is to let it run its course and then fuck up the monster. But that's not really an option for me, so I have to find other methods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're incredibly lucky I am a nosy son of a bitch who can't keep his nose out of other people's business. Can I help?
I I appreciate that, I think, but also, like I said, I mean, I appreciate the concern, but at the same time, he gestures at the notes on the table. I'm kind of doing everything I can here.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like, he kind of makes a gesture, like a very vague gesture, and he's like, I mean, other people are also getting involved, and some of them are close to my family. I would also like to help out. Um, I would. He's trying to figure out how to put it into words, and he's like, if something were to happen, I would like to be able to help. If that makes sense, you know?
You mean like another incident? I There's not really a warning system for those. I mean, trust me, any help that is on hand when those occur is useful and welcome, but at the same time, they kind of just happen at random. You can't really predict when someone's going to hit their wall, you know?
Mm.
You can't really predict when somebody's just going to snap because they've had too much.
He kind of takes in a deep breath before he nods. He's like, all right. Okay.
I'm sorry, I wish I had a more satisfying answer for you.
No, it's fine. I think I had it in my head one way when it wasn't that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um Getting more context and clarification for this is still helping though, so I appreciate for you for answering that.
Of course.
This tea is fucking good.
That actually makes you laugh, and he just smiles. And says, "Thank you. It's one of my more practiced skills. I'll say that much."
Yeah, I can tell. Wow. He
My old
takes another sip.
my old boss taught me how to do this. He tried teaching me how to read the tea leaves too, but I do not have a gift for divination.
Uh, I mean that's fair. Um, I have opinions on divination, but that's neither here nor there.
That gets a bit of a raised eyebrow.
I once got in an argument with someone about fate, being set in stone. It's not. It really isn't. It's not. It is not.
You feel
I will
strongly
die
about
on this
this.
hill. I will die on this hill. It's not.
I mean, no one's asking you to die. I would hope to be able to agree with you.
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like it gets on my nerves, you know?
I get that.
Yeah.
The way Mr. Sam explained divination to me, it's not that fate or destiny are set paths. It's more that there are many things that could happen, and different methods of divination can give you different insights into possibilities. Better forewarned than better forewarned for a possibility that doesn't end up happening than completely unprepared when disaster strikes.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like divination should not be something to tell someone that this is what's going to happen no matter what. It should be a tool to help you figure out what you need to do and kind of takes a deep breath.
You laughs and nods, and one of his hands does kind of drift to the pocket on his vest. The I forget what it's called, like the pocket that's like right over your heart, that one. And he
Breast
just
pocket.
that, yeah. And he just, sets his hand there and is, yeah, I get that feeling.
Arata looks like he's this close to rambling again, and he just doesn't. You get you.
You laughs and just, well, I think I definitely agree with you. It's part of the reason I was never able to understand the whole tea leaf reading thing, because I don't know. I get getting insight from the great beyond or whatever, but at the same time, wet leaves do not know what's going to happen in the future.
I doubt that they would either.
Wet leaves cannot tell me when I'm going to die.
Nope.
That's not a thing that can happen. I refuse to accept that into my worldview.
You know, I did actually have a fortune teller tell me I was going to die.
And yet, here you stand. Or
Here I
sit.
stand. Here I
Congratulations, you're
am.
not dead.
He does the he like with his empty hand he kind of like does the see I'm still here kind of gesture.
Congratulations on not dead.
You know what's great about this?
Hmm.
I'm talking about this and I actually have a tarot deck with me.
Wait, is that in character or is that you, Avi?
I mean, it's both. I do have a tarot deck like right next to me, but also Arata carries a tarot deck in his bag.
You laugh, so just all that, and yet you're carrying the tools of the trade with you.
It was a gift. Also, it's a little enchanted.
Well, can't deny the value of that, then.
Yeah.
He kind of smiles and actually decides to take out the thing he has in his pocket and says, I don't have a full deck, but I do have this. And he pulls out a Joker card from his pocket.
Gasp.
I got a reading.
Sorry, I can't have him what he was going to say. I can't have him say what he was going to say out loud. Yeah, in my head, he was just, oh, look, it's me.
He just laughs and says, I got I got this from this one card reader who, like, accosted me on the street. Like, scripted event, I kept trying to walk forward and he just kept appearing. So I just sat down and let him try to read my future. I didn't really get it, but he gave me this at the end.
Joker cards are cool. In most playing card games, at least, they are the wild card, able to overturn, throw a wrench in whatever game you're playing.
Mm-hmm. You kind of smiles at that, remembering certain things that he played back in the real world.
Lamau, lol.
He who shush. And he will put it back in his pocket and just.
Oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. I just ran
Okay.
out of things to say.
Yeah. I think in that case, Arata will take out his deck, and he's like, "Well, if you want to, if we're showing cards, then I have to look something up real quick." Um, he does pull out his deck of cards, and they are incredibly stylized. In fact, if it is true that Yu has played a certain thingy in the real world, he would recognize it. I just have to find a good picture, but my internet's dying.
Yeah, I could tell you're
My
lagging out.
God. Help! Help! I'm in the torment nexus!
Someone save Avi from this hell.
Alright, I found it. Okay. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna spoil it for Scopo just in case. Oh, Discord. Okay, there we go.
Discord, I'm howling at the moon and sleeping in the middle of a summer afternoon.
Oh, it's taking so long to load. What the fuck?
Discord having a real one.
uh, you've seen Persona 5. It's that very stylized red and black and gray tarot deck um with the golden eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows it to you. A friend gave it to me. And it also has, unlike the actual like cards you see in Persona 5, it does have the minor arcana.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like shows them to you. Do you want to roll like a perception as he's like flipping through them?
Sure. Let me grab my dice. And rolling. There we go.
There we
They
go.
load.
Finally loaded.
16 plus what's perception? 7. 16 plus 7.
Ooh, a 21. Is it? No, 23.
Yeah, 23.
Okay. I know how to do math, guys. I'm so good at this. But as he's flipping through, you do see in the deck certain cards that aren't how familiar with you is you with tarot? I should probably ask that.
Fairly familiar. He was taught by his old boss.
Okay. In that case, you would probably know that there is a set amount of like the major arcana. And major arcana are consistent between decks. But even though Arata has the entirety of the major arcana spread, there are a few cards, namely 4, that are not often seen in the tarot deck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Counselor, the Faith, the Hope, and if I remember right, the last one is the Apostle.
Hmm.
And Arata is just showing this to you, and he says, "Yeah, it's so it's a little with
It's a little what? Sorry, you cut out.
hard, hard to part with."
You nods and says, "Yeah, that's a rare set. I don't think I've ever seen the complete one. That's impressive."
And he kind of wiggles, and he says, um, he flips up the deck again to like show you the card that's on the bottom. It's the Fool. um, and he says, God, I lost what he was going to say.
You're all right. Take your time.
Yeah, it. No, it's gone.
Pats you.
And he's like, I think what he ends up saying instead then is, I mean, I would think so. It was, I'm pretty sure it was custom made.
Oh, I just mean that those ones, and he will point out the 4 that aren't in the classical tarot deck. It's rare to see them all together.
Oh, yeah. Um, you know how I said that this deck is a little enchanted?
Mm-hmm.
They sort of popped up one day. Not all at once, like, sort of like one at a time.
Hmm. That's neat.
Yeah. Yeah. The minor arcana, though, and he flips to show those. They kind of those are, I think, deck of illusions.
Well, that
So
also comes in handy a lot.
it sure does. One of the illusions is a beholder. Um,
Just
I
casually pull that out of nowhere.
yeah, yep. Looks at our audience member.
Who doesn't just have a casual beholder in their pocket?
Sorry, I'm looking at the gallery.
This is why I do not look at the gallery during games.
Yeah, totally unrelated. Totally. I'll probably tell you later. But like, he he does like, I think what he ends up doing in that case is, he holds it out and he says, "Do you want to see what else it can do?"
If you'd like to show me, then sure.
Yeah, and he's holding it out for you to take a card. So if you is going to take one, I'm going to ask you, Whirl,
Mm-hmm.
what's Yu's Arcana?
Uh. I think the one I settled on was Temperance.
Yeah, and you probably like just pull one at random, and it comes up as Temperance, and he says, my friend enchanted it so that if you just sort of pull a card at random, like without really thinking or anything, the card you pull out is the major arcana that best reflects who you are.
Huh. Well, I guess this one makes sense then. Temperance is all about balancing things and keeping things running.
Sure is a secretary mood, huh?
I know, right? It's almost like it's my job to maintain the records that keep the entire detective place fucking working. Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
That's a neat trick, though.
Yeah. And he kind of like tucks that back into the deck and puts it in his bag again. And it's just yeah, that's I forgot how we got to this point in the conversation. We were talking about tea leaves.
I think the exact track is we started talking about tea. I mentioned how I learned to make tea, mentioned that my boss couldn't ever manage to get through my head how to read tea leaves. That led you into a uh, spiel about uh,
Fate.
opinions on fate.
I
Fate
have
is
to
dumb.
opinions on fate.
Opinions on fate. In summary, fate is dumb.
It sure is. It is.
And that led to conversation of experience with fortune tellers, and now we're here.
Yeah. And he kind of like pauses for a second and he's just like, okay, back on the tea thing, though.
Hmm?
Can you can you show me how to make tea?
Sure, you want to learn?
Yeah,
And you
I'm
actually
always.
does perk up, like, a considerable bit.
And he's just like, I don't have much I can offer in return. Yes, but
I wouldn't expect you to offer me anything in return. I just like showing people how to do things.
you know what? I'm always down to learn a trade.
And you will stand up and head over to the kitchen.
Yeah, and Arata will follow. Genie is also following. I think what he's going to end up doing is he's going to hop onto the counter and just sort of watch.
Wait. Genie on top of the fridge.
Genie on the fridge. Arata turns around and is like, Genie, get down from there.
Oh no, that's fine. Dyer sits up there all the time.
Arata just sort of sighs.
He likes to feel tall. Leave him alone.
He can feel tall on the counter. He's just gonna walk over to wherever he was standing.
And you will pause and then grab a pair of yellow kitchen gloves, which he pulls on over his regular gloves. Because working with food, TM.
Yeah.
And they are just the cartoonish, bright yellow rubber gloves that go all the way up to the elbows.
Oh, I'm so fucking glad. Hang on. It's so good.
They are bright lemon yellow.
Fucking love that. Is there another pair that Arata can put on, or?
You know what? Probably. Like, there's probably another pair by the sink.
Yeah, Arata will put those on because probably for the best.
Mm-hmm. Um, that makes some part of you feel happy to not be alone in wearing the bright, silly gloves, but he doesn't mention it.
Yeah.
He says,
Look,
okay.
he's mimicking.
Okay, so let's start with the blend I set up for you. So that one is a energizing blend because of its base, and most teas will have a specific base. For example, he opens one of the little drawers on the counter. This one is labeled mate. And there are 3 sort of subsets of the drawer. This is called mate. Well, in the world I come from, it's from a place called Argentina. And it has very, very energizing properties. Basically, people started drinking it to stay awake when they were guiding cattle through like the prairies and deserts at night. Because, coyotes are a problem, so you have to stay awake.
Yeah, Arata's nodding along.
And mate can be separated into 3 different categories. You have fresh mate, aka yerba mate, and he takes out a little spoonful of the leaves, which are bright green. And he will hold that out for Arata.
Yeah, he'll hold. He'll take it.
It has a more grassy and slightly tobacco-like flavor than some of the others. For example, the base that I used for yours was toasted mate, and he will gesture to the second of the little sub-drawers, which has the same leaves but in a sort of darker brownish yellow color. Basically the same thing, but you roast the leaves rather than just letting them dry. And then if you take toasted mate and add a few different spices to it, it becomes spiced mate. Now, toasted mate has more of a mellow, rounded flavor, almost a nutty quality, in comparison to yerba mate, which is very bright and grassy.
I want you to imagine as you're going on, Arata is like quiet. He's doing that silent protag thing where he's just listening to you tell him things. But he is paying attention.
He was just very excited to share tea knowledge.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad.
Like, for real, this is probably the most animated Yuu has been in almost any conversation. Like, there have been a couple other conversations where he's been this level of animated, but this is the most excited he's been.
Woohoo.
And just he will take Arata through the process of putting together a good blend of tea depending on what the effect you want is.
Oh, hell yeah. If you want, I can roll, how do you say it? I can roll survival to see how well it turns out.
Sure. That would be funny.
Here we go. Oh, what is your survival? 12 plus... 2. That's a 14.
Yeah, I'd say he does decently well for a beginner.
Yeah.
Like, significantly above average.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the same as brewing coffee, but...
Oh, yeah.
it's similar in that there's a lot more steps than people think there would be.
Yeah. And Arata himself is kind of patient, so he's expecting like the learning curve. But I think his experience with figuring out that there are a lot more steps with coffee has kind of like prepared him for that much at least.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but again, he does like learning new trades.
Mm-hmm. And Yu seems very enthusiastic about teaching.
Yeah. And he sort of just presents it. He's just like, okay, moment of truth.
And you will give him a little round of applause just for, like, putting together something that at least looks like it's gonna taste good.
Yeah. And he takes a sip and he's just, that turned out a lot better than I was expecting.
Hell yeah.
um
You definitely did better than I did my first time. I burnt my first cup of tea.
oh god. Don't even get me started on my first cup of coffee.
I.
Boss almost threatened to throw me out.
Well, Sam didn't threaten to fire me, but he did give me an earful and then make me watch him do it.
uh, sounds about right. Arata wants to make such a fucking stupid joke. And I'm just like, are you really just gonna pull this out of nowhere?
Do it.
Alright, and he's just like, well, if Senpai thinks it's fine.
You snorts and will just lightly punch Arata in the shoulder.
He just starts cackling.
That is.
Haha,
Why
got
would you
him.
just say that, you dork?
Hey, you're more experienced in this than I am.
I mean, point, but also. Bruh. This is not a school environment. I did my time. I'm not going back.
Oh man. I win.
I did my time. I served my sentence. I ain't going back to that environment.
Oh. And I wouldn't force you there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As much as I value education, oh my god.
You snorts. Listen, there are many ways to get an education beyond school. School is
That
probably
is
one of
true.
the worst ways. Because school tries to present it that there's only one way to learn things. And anyone who doesn't learn that way is disadvantaged, and it's bullshit.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the education system. I'm this close. I'm going to lose it.
You laughs and just says, oh, trust me, I fucking lost it long ago. You're not alone.
Glad we can agree on that. But he does finish the rest of his a little above average tea.
It's better than store brand, which is more than most people can say.
Yeah. I feel like that is a low bar to pass.
It is, but also it's, again, more than most people can say. Most people
Yeah.
just buy a bag of black tea from the grocery store and make that, and it's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Arata does seem really proud of himself, though.
Yeah, and Yu is definitely proud of him as well. Just, hell yeah. We love seeing our friends succeed. He does
I
kind of
will somehow
smile.
figure out.
Hmm?
Arata was going to be like, I am going to figure out a way to return the favor at some point.
You really don't have to.
True.
Honestly, it's just been nice having someone come to visit.
Then I'll come by and visit again.
If you ever want to, my door's always open. It's been so weird living on my own. Living back at the school, Ramshackle dorm was always full of people coming in and out. Mostly because the kids from the other dormitories knew that if they got in trouble with their house wardens, I would hide them. Or rather, that their house wardens were my friends and therefore weren't willing to mess with me.
I get you.
Or at the very least, that I would call them out when they were being idiots.
That's fair.
Which is often.
We love a guy who will call someone out on their bullshit.
It's an important factor in any friendship.
You need someone like that everywhere, anytime. You need someone like that.
It is an important factor in every person's life to have at least one person who will smack you upside the head and say, "Stop being a dumbass."
Oh, you get it. That's how I feel about Asumi sometimes. Anyway, don't tell him I said that.
I don't even know an Azumi, so you're good?
You'll probably run into him at some point. He does go by the office pretty often.
Wait. Is he the one who keeps getting, like, notes that he's grumpy in his case files?
Arata snorts! He's just like, yeah, that's probably the one. Brown hair, shoulder length, also Yiddish.
Don't
Looks
know
like
what
he
that
dresses
last bit means, but
from Yedo, country I'm from.
oh, he nods.
And he's just probably the guy.
Probably the one clients keep saying, well, he got the job done really well, but also he was really grumpy about it the whole time. Because
I'm surprised he's being grumpy on cases. Normally he keeps the saccharine shtick if it's someone he doesn't know. Unless the cops were involved. If the cops were involved, that would make him grumpy.
I think those are the ones I'm thinking of.
Oh my god. Oh, masks.
Then again, I don't like dealing with the cops, so I can hardly hold that against him. Philstown cops are just really bad at their jobs. So, they're cops.
I know, right?
Dude, the other day, I got called out to, survey a crime scene that had happened downtown. Because we didn't have any detectives available to go look at it because everyone was really busy that day.
Oh no.
The cops had called us before properly investigating the scene, and you know what it had wound up being that had happened?
What happened?
Everyone was clustered around this supposed giant bloodstain. It was a dropped fucking jelly jar!
Arata looks so pained.
Someone had dropped a jar of jelly! I looked at it, I fucking licked it, and it was strawberry!
Arata looks so pained. He's just like, oh, that feels bad, man.
And the police officer was just standing there like, well, usually a child would come along and solve this. Bitch, what?
Oh, it's talking about Camille.
I'm aware of that now. It's still dumb.
Arata puts his head in his hands. Please, sir, please don't put your entire faith on an 8-year-old.
Please
don't do that.
Please don't neglect your job because an 8-year-old does it better than you. Maybe look for a better career.
Fucking crying. I cannot believe. No, I can't believe that. Cops are shit.
All cops are bastards. That or they're dumbasses.
ACAB.
ACAB. Or ACAD. Either way. He kind of just face palms and just... that was such a day. We wound up preventing an actual murder, though, so that was good.
Yeah, that just seems to be par for the course in Billstown.
I swear. Like, why does anyone live here? The corpse-to-living person ratio in this town is dumb. No one should live here.
Don't worry about it. Is there one thing I've learned about Einquell? You should not worry about it too much.
You just sighs and leans against the counter. I like it here, but stuff like that makes me really, really miss home.
No, I get you. I get missing home. Oh, my friends, speaking of, my friends from back home are, visiting, so if you do see me with a bunch of other real kind, don't be afraid to, like, say hi.
Sure. I don't really tend to go out much, so that's not super likely, but I'll swing by and say hi if I see you guys.
I don't think you should have said that in front of me. On God, we're gonna get you outside doing activities.
Listen, I have activities. I do things. I do stuff. Look. And he gestures at his studies on the table. Stuff and things.
Yeah, inside a house.
Yes.
Well, go out sometimes, you nerd. You're like my little sister. I'll drag you out if I have to.
But consider, I like being inside.
He raises a finger, and he's like, I'm gonna take that, audience. He's just like, you should touch grass sometimes.
I touch grass? How dare you?
Touch grass!
Arata is getting pushed.
He pushes back.
How dare you? How dare you use that term on me? I haven't fucking heard that in years.
You actually hear from atop of the fridge a sort of, like, meowing laugh.
Ah, great. I'm being laughed at from 2 angles.
See, Jeannie agrees with me.
This is a betrayal. I shall never forgive you guys. Oh my god. The audacity on display.
I am always one for subverting expectations.
You come into my house.
I sure did!
Maybe next time me to touch grass.
I will come in through the window and tell you to touch grass.
This is on the 3rd floor.
I can climb.
I don't have a fire escape. What?
Arata puts his hands on his hips. I've climbed worse.
That's concerning. How are you not dead?
I have very good upper body strength.
Points to you, motherfucker, but that is a sheer goddamn wall. Most people would fall and die. Please don't fall and die.
There's a tree right next to Camille's window, and I climb it every time I want to get into that house.
Sure, why not?
I win!
I wasn't aware this conversation was a competition.
It wasn't, but I win anyway.
Whatever makes you feel better.
And he does kind of like glance over to the window, and he's just like, I can probably try to find a way to climb up this.
If you think you can do it, that's your business. The only person I have ever seen go in and out of that window is Dyer, and I don't know how she does half the shit she does. I mean, I'm so willing to attribute it to Faye bullshit, because she just teleports sometimes.
That sounds spelled par for the course.
Like, I don't know if that's just a cat thing, or if that's just a her thing.
I mean, either way, I've been called a cat boy enough that I can properly climb up this.
Damn, can't believe you're canonically a cat boy.
I guess.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Hang on. Sorry, I'm like desperately holding him back from bringing up the cursed fucking mask he has in his bag.
Oh?
He has a cursed mask that turns him into a Tressum.
Incredible.
And he's just like, I was pretty much kin assigned cat at some point. I have a cursed mask in my bag. I can't take it out because if I do, I'm going to put it back on. But if I wear it, I turn into a cat with wings.
What in the anime bullshit?
Look. Listen.
I guess you're a magical cat boy now.
I guess. It's a cursed mask, though.
Magical werecat boy.
I guess!
You is just grinning.
There is no winning from this.
Which means I win, which means it's a tie.
I will accept that. I don't really have much else.
Yeah, I think you will, like, pause and say, genuinely, thank you for coming to visit today. It was a little quiet.
I'm glad I came in and made things loud for a bit. A little sad I missed Dyer.
She'll be back when she's back. I don't... Next time you come to visit, if you do decide to come visit again, she'll probably be here. She's gonna be mad to know that she missed a visitor.
Aw. I'll bring treats for her.
Oh, congratulations, you'll become her favorite person.
He kind of just does like a fist bump. Like a fist pump. It's like, yes. But yeah.
Do you think that's a place for us to end?
Yeah. I think that's a perfect place for us to end. In which case, thank you so much to our listening audience, both now
and in the future.
And thank you, Whirl, for playing with me.
And thank you for playing with me, Avi. That was so much fun.
It was! Oh, that was so adorable. For now, we are going to bid everyone a good time zone.
Farewell,
Bye.
adieu, sayonara, etc. Goodbye.
Bye.